Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and good night, wherever you may be. No, I'm not on the road. I have not got back in time. This is a lovely, beautiful, in fact, postcard from 1917, posted from the village of Dwygyfylchi by a girl to her friend on the Wirral, Wallasey, Liscard to be precise, a place where I visited. Me and my buddy visited there last week, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to go on eBay and get a postcard associated with Liscard, and this is what it is. So it's yes, it's nice to look at stamps, but is it possible to actually draw up a little bit of history around the postcard, around the characters involved? And we'll see how we get along with this. First, when we look at the stamp, it's a George V of penny red. They're always penny reds, aren't they? Especially after that penny black fiasco. It was posted in 1917, 29th of August at 7:30. The postmistress or postmaster stamped that with a lovely cancel capello. So, chapel area of, I would say, Dwygyfylchi. And it's posted to Miss M. Galley, 32 Seafield Drive, Liscard, Cheshire. And it says, Dear Mildred, it's written on a Wednesday, I am coming home Friday. We are here at Dwygyfylchi at present, spending the day. We are going on to Penmaenmawr. I will call on Sunday afternoon for you. P.S. I shall call love and kisses, Elsie. And then she's added here, P.S. shall call at 3:15 on Sunday. I.W. Cross. I don't know what that means. If anyone's got any ideas about that, let me know. I did pump it into ChatGPT and it couldn't really tell me anything. But it could be secret code. These girls, these little girls, young girls, teen girls, they have codes, don't they? So this is obviously two very close, close friends, teenage friends, and they're going to go out and it's going to call for a Sunday and they're going to go out, presumably to enjoy some shopping or some excitement. So I thought, well, who is Miss M. Galley? So M gives you a bit of a clue, but Mildred gives you the whole clue. Or does it? Mildred is what she's known as, not Millie, but Mildred Galley. So I did a little bit of digging. I thought I'll have a look at, just for fun, for giggles, I'll have a little look at the BMDs and see what I could find. Well, there was no Mildred Galley, I'm afraid. However, there was a birth in 1903 in West Derby, which is exactly that area, Liscard and Wallasey, that sort of part of, it's near Liverpool, to a Jessie Eleanor Mildred Galley, Jem Galley. Not known as Jessie, not known as Eleanor, but is known as Mildred. So that's, I think, a confirmed evidence of birth. I do. And as we go on, you'll see a little bit more. I thought, well, can I go any further? Now that I've got the full name, which is Jessie Eleanor Mildred Galley, can I go a little bit further? So I was able to go into the census of 1911. 19 Harlech Road, Blundellsands, again, bang spank in the area which we're talking about. And we've got a family here, a little family. John Arthur Galley, 38, insurance inspector, head of house. His wife, Jessie Emma Mary Galley, 37, wife. And Jessie Eleanor Mildred Galley, age 7, so it fits in with the 1904, and it sort of fits in, does it not, with the date of the postcard also. Now, what is interesting is Jem. So I think that's quite... So was Jessie, the mother, Jessie Emma Mary, known as Mary Galley? I suspect she may have been because they called the daughter Mildred Galley. So I don't know. But I'm suppositioning here, if that's a word. I suspect that's Mary Galley, but I could be wrong. Anyway, we can go a little bit further, I think. The story is starting to build up. So then we have the postcard situation. So Elsie is on holiday in Grigorvolki. Interestingly, Miss Mildred Gully is not on holiday with her friend, but she has now moved from Harlech Road to 32 Seafield Drive in Liscard by then. And when we have a look at the 1921 census, which is 4 years later, she is indeed at 32 Seafield Drive, Wallasey. But now she's with Albert Howard Cunningham, 49 years of age, a bank manager, and his wife Keturah McGregor Cunningham. Sounds very Scottish to me, though she wasn't born in Scotland. Wife, age 46. I did a little extra digging as well. And then we have Jessie Eleanor Mildred Galley, 17 years of age, spot on there with the ages. Niece. So the mother, she stayed with her mother's brother, Albert Howard Cunningham, bank manager, niece, and she's in part-time education. Not sure what that means. Probably works as well as still goes to school at the age of 17, which I would say would be fairly unusual. I think kids left when they were about 14 in those days and then would go straight to work, possibly because it's a middle-class family. She's in part-time education and also is doing a little bits and bobs maybe. So that's that. Okay, what can we go to next? Well, we can now fast forward a little bit to 1939. Now, luckily there was a war census, so war was coming, and the British government, wanted to know, where everyone was. So we are now in 13 Regent Road, Wallasey, and we see an Eleanor Galley. Now just remember that Jessie's second name is Eleanor. Was she named after this Eleanor Galley? Don't know. What is she? 74, widow. Not married, widow. So she is not the wife of John Arthur Galley. The wife is actually missing. Missing off the census. This widow eventually dies in 1960 at the age of 86. I suspect sister-in-law, possibly, brother's wife. Don't know, I haven't dug that deep. We then have John A. Galley, Albert, who we know, 72 years of age, married. He's retired insurance agent still. And here we have Jessie E. M. Galley, the girl who was receiving of the postcard. And we get her date of birth here, 20th of the 11th, 1903. And she's single and she's shorthand typist as a job. Now, what is interesting about this is in 1952, somebody dived back into this record and updated it. By that I mean they added something to Jessie in 1952, which I'll come to a little bit later. If I remember, I'll leave that there. Okay, we come to the end of the war, and unfortunately John Arthur Galley of 13 Regent Road has died, and a probate is proved on the 17th of August, and everything is left to Jessie Eleanor Mildred Galley, our heroine. Not the mother, who is still alive, but Mildred, spinster, to the effects of £123, 10 shillings and 11 pence. I think you could buy a house in those days for about £100. I'm not sure. But, it ain't bad. I mean, it's not fantastic, but he's left us something anyway. But where is the mother? Which we sort of will come to gently in a minute. We now have a marriage between Harry H. Winkup to Jessie E. M. Galley, 1951, in Wallasey, so she's not moving. but it's nice to know that maybe she's finding some happiness in a relationship, and hopefully it was fulfilling for her. No children that I could find, but of course she was, I'm not saying knocking on, but well, for, she's well in her 40s, so there's no children coming from that, but possibly people, her father's died, blah de blah de blah. She's on her own. I also believe by that time the Cunninghams had either moved away or died. I have seen a death of Keturah down south somewhere, which is where she was originally born. So that was nice to see. So we can now go back to the 1939 census when I said somebody's actually dived back into this. So on that record, they've gone with blue pen and added the name Winkup 1952. So in 1952, somebody dove back in to the war census to add something, which tells me, if you look at the war census, go on to the document proper, because that wasn't coming up on the searches. In fact, it was difficult to find I keep calling her Jessie, Mildred, on those searches. Especially the 39 war census. Fiendishly difficult. That also is where I found Eleanor, the widow, and her second name is Eleanor. I suspect there may be some link with those names. Names is everything. What I do know, also by a little bit of searching, is that the mother did die in the 1960s. So Jessie Emma Mary died in the 1960s in Cheshire, in a Cheshire hospital. I think she'd suffered from ill health throughout her life, and that may have been why Mildred was, moved from the family to the uncle and auntie, and then returned to look after maybe the father and the mother, and that's why she's late getting married. So an actual life of service to her people, which is very nice to see. Now, with every beginning, there's an ending, isn't there? So we see the beginning, and unfortunately, we see Mildred Winkup has died in 1995, again, Wallasey. So there's not much movement going on. I haven't dug any deeper than that. But it just shows from a simple postcard written in haste, written to a friend, to a childhood friend, someone you're knocking around with, you're playing with in the streets of Wallasey, of Liskeard. It shows that a story, a picture can be built up. So don't poo-poo postcards and covers and the like. They can give you a little bit of information that you can build a picture on, build a story. Mildred, you think, I'll never find that name, and I didn't find the name. You've got to dig a little bit deeper, and like an onion, it peels back, and before you know it, you've built up a story of a life, one dedicated to family, someone who's hopefully found happiness in the end of their lives, has led a useful life looking after mother, father to the end, and is obviously somebody worth friendship. I can find nothing about Elsie. All I've got there is Elsie. I was hoping maybe an Elsie would pop up in records around that sort of area, but nothing has picked up. But never poo-poo covers or postcards. They are very, very interesting. Now let's have a little look down here. I remember as a kid, this was the main road around from Conway to Carnarvon. It would take you hours to go, and you'd stop off probably Fairy Glen, which is around there. That may even be the post office. I hope you've enjoyed this. I've enjoyed having a little look. I'm going to keep all these sort of, they're not real documents, by the way, I've done them. I'm going to keep them with the postcard, and I'm going to put them away in my postcard section. Have a fantastic day. Remember, stamp collecting is fun. It's great to be back. I've been waiting for this postcard for a while, and now it's come, and I've been dying to do this video. Take care, everybody. Bye for now. Bye.